No one can deny the vital importance of education in the development of any nation. As far as Algeria concerned, it made great efforts throughout 60 years to provide a good educational quality and the right methodology, as well as the appropriate conditions for its people.
The first to establish universities in the world, in the ancient world, they were the Arabs. The first university was in Egypt. It was in Cairo. It was established by the Fatimids. The Fatimids, they were Algerians. Algiers University was ranking in 1955, during the Algerian Revolution, 5th place in the world. Imagine, after Harvard, Oxford, and Cambridge, and other universities.
The establishment of the first Algerian university, which now known as the University of Algiers I, or Yusuf Ben Khadda, dates back to 1909, and it was annexed to the School of Medicine that was founded in 1833. It used to attract European students only. However, it opened its doors for a very small minority of Algerians due to the colonialism policy back then.
بالنسبة للاستعمار الفرنسي في الجزائر لم يكن استعماراً عسكرياً فقط.
According to France, its colonization of Algeria wasn't just military or economic, but it was cultural and ideological colonization as well. Even though France relied on its soldiers, it also relied mainly on teachers and schools.
معلم وعلى المدرسة.
Who can, from the Algerians, I mean, origin, the indigen, between brackets, to go to the university, there were very, very few numbers.
جامعة الجزائر لم تنشأ للجزائريين.
The University of Algeria was not made for the Algerians. It was made for the Europeans to fulfill their needs. And if we looked at the numbers of Algerian students who were studying at university or those who were lucky to join the University of Algiers, we can say that the numbers were a few dozens at that time.
أرقام الجزائريين.
After the independence, the University of Algeria and the scientific research remained under French trusteeship and its administration. Algerian competencies were also present as members of the scientific and management boards. The inherited hybrid instructional system from French colonialism in Algeria had to be changed because it did not align with the needs and aspirations of the Algerian people. This is in accordance with the words of President Houari Boumediene in his speech of October 10, 1969.
ماناش باغي الجامعة تتشتت إلى طوائف، باغي الجامعة تكون جامعة ثورية. الجامعة هي لازم تكون محل نتاع اللقاءات. احنا موجودين له باش نشجع، باش نبني الجامعات وباش نبني المعاهد وباش نخلق لكم المناخ.
En 1962,
In 1962, there was only one university, which is the Central Faculty in Algiers, with approximately 500 to 600 students. Then there was the construction of the University of Oran, which was originally a military base that was planned to be transformed into a university. And between 1969 and 1970, another university was built in Constantine.
Since the beginning of 1962, the Algerian University went through major reforms which provided educational opportunities to all citizens. Through democracy of education, developed scientific and creative research, and upgraded the Arabic language as the official and teacher language, the fact which brought it in line with the context of national sovereignty.
We started either another reformation, the high education system in Algeria. This time with progressive of introducing Arabic as the language step by step.
The years 1970 and 1971 are considered the real breakthrough for higher education and scientific research in Algeria, after the establishment of its ministry under the leadership of Mohammed Sadiq Ben Yahya.
The first minister of higher education was Mustafa Al-Ashraf. Mustafa Al-Ashraf is very famous. He was a mujahid. He was hijacked by this plane with the 5 leaders, among them Ben Bellai, Tahmed, and Khaythar. After him, was Mohammed Siddiq bin Yahya. Again, Mohammed Siddiq bin Yahya, rahimahullah. God bless him. قولوا rahimahullah. He started the reformation of the high education of Algerian system during the 17th.
The need of Algerian society for economic, social, and cultural developments prompted the Algerian state to establish Houari Boumediene University of Science and Technology in 1974. This allowed it to form frameworks in the exact sciences and technologies, as well as to build competitive modern society, which France failed to eradicate its components in various fields.
Donc il y a eu en 1974
The year 1974 was marked by the foundation of the University of Science and Technology of Algiers, which became known as the University of Houari Boumediene.
Alors donc on a démarré en 1974 avec 2000 étudiants au départ.
In 1974, we started with a number of 2,000 students and two common streams.
Alors bien sûr le nombre d'étudiants a évolué. Je vous ai dit 2000 au départ.
Through the years, the number of students increased. As I've said earlier, we started with 2,000 only, but in 2022, we have around 50,000 students and 2,000 teachers working at the university campus, which covers an area of 105 hectares.
5 hectares.
40 years after the independence, the Algerian university remained unchanged. Despite numerous reforms when the world had been changing swiftly, Algeria found itself before a whole different educational system that it had to adapt to. Therefore, it established a national committee to reform the educational system and submitted an executive scheme which was approved by the Ministers' Council.
Dans l'ancien système,
When we talk about the old system that we used to work with, there were many stages that you had to go through in order to acquire a diploma. So when the student finishes all his studies, he gets his PhD at the age of 40, and then he can apply his own ideas. On the other hand, Anglo-Saxons and Asians who've had the system of BMD, where you can see someone at the age of 26 or 27 with a PhD degree, and at this age, he can be more productive, and that's what makes the major difference.
qui donc le dirige.
In April 2002, the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research developed a 10-year strategy from 2004 to 2013, through which it approved the start of an overall reconstruction of higher education, which is known as the BMD. In addition to the reorganization of pedagogical management, so that the student becomes the center of the educational process, and is the main contributor to make his educational and career path, taking into consideration the economic and development needs of the country.
We were only one university during the French occupation, and after Algerians they get their independence, we are more now than 100 universities and institutions in Algeria. The number rises 1.5 million students in the University of Algeria. Sorry for that.
Throughout history, the university built a strong relationship with the society by carrying out many tasks entrusted to it. It also played a key role in its relationship with the economic environment by providing the society with the necessary workforce, expertise, and technical skills that are substantial for every modern civilization.